Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jamie Bolam Podcast. I've made this podcast to talk to interesting, exciting and inspiring people about the things that I find most interesting, exciting and inspiring. My guest today is one of my best friends, Grad. Dom is a final year computer scientist at the University of Exeter, and as of recording this introduction, he has recently finished a year in industry as a web developer. We've known each other for 3 years now, and he's a very sound guy. We both love calisthenics, we both love anime, and we are both Japanophiles. Be very afraid. This episode has less of a concrete structure and focus than subsequently recorded podcasts, and then realised that I needed to be more focused. We go on many tangents, some more bizarre than others, please bear with us, and we cover a variety of topics, so there's certainly something in here for everyone. I'm sure you'll learn something new, if nothing else. Listen on to hear our top health and fitness advice based on our years of experience working out, what we've done good and bad at university, and how to hit the ground running once you graduate, where Atlantis might be located, why hunters use orange toilet paper, and much, much more. If you enjoy this episode, please follow me on your favourite streaming platforms for more. So you don't miss out on anything due to algorithm madness, I've made a free email newsletter that you can sign up to at jamiebolam.substack.com. I hate spam and much prefer speaking to writing, so as of now, the only intentions I have with the newsletter is to alert you guys to when an exciting new episode is being released and who is slated to come on the podcast in the future. I might add some other bits, like what music I've been listening to lately, but I'm taking this one step at a time and I'm a busy guy, so there won't be anything too crazy on there just yet. You can also follow me on Instagram at jamie.a.bolam. Like the newsletter, I will just use this page to share updates on the podcast, but I might also share some calisthenics, some Latin dancing, basically anything that looks super cool, treating it like a public PR page for myself. So I would love it if you would give me a cheeky follow on there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Dom Grad. Okay, we're recording. Hello, Dom.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like to introduce yourself? This is episode 2 of the Jamie Bolam Podcast. I've yet to think of a proper name, but it will probably just be that, so something along those lines.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
I'm Dom Grad.
Yeah.
Currently a placement student, but a Exeter student, and soon to be again an Exeter student.
Yeah.
In September, studying computer science.
Mm-hmm.
I'm primarily doing web dev.
Yeah. What is that? Web development.
Yeah.
What is web development?
What is web development? Well, you go on any website, you need a web developer to make the website.
Okay.
Quite simply.
So it's making websites.
Yeah, making well, it's not just just websites, or web applications as well. So something more complex, like, let's say, you have a website for your granddad's workshop, right? That's pretty basic. It just has like information about his workshop. A web application would be something more complex, like, I don't know, like Facebook, right? Where you log in and you have you manage your data or whatever.
Okay. So
yeah. But
yeah, nice. So what, your third year now?
Yeah.
You'll be going into your 4th year of computer science, right?
Yeah, technically it's third, because it's in the industrial placement. It's considered as just like a gap in between.
Okay.
So it'll be my 3rd year. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, looking forward to coming back.
Yeah. I mean, with COVID ruining my 2nd year,
that's true.
Everything being online, it will be very nice to just kind of come back into doing stuff in person and just going to lectures.
No, it is very nice. I do really like in-person stuff's way better. But then you've got like 2 generations of fresher students.
Yeah, true.
But then all the people from COVID years couldn't dick around with alcohol when they were 16. So they're all acting like babies with alcohol now when they're like 18, and it's just kind of sad.
Yeah.
Well, in my opinion, like, they're just acting more wild. I've heard this is like in America, like,
really,
because the drinking age is 21 there. Like, people, like, say if you go from the UK to America for a year abroad, like, a lot of them are acting with alcohol when they're 18 to like 21, like British people do when they're like 15, 16.
Well, I feel like,
do you know what I mean?
Well, I think with COVID, people just became probably more like antisocial, and I feel like people have gotten worse in terms of like studying. I think.
Yeah, in studying. I think social skills as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of like studying for a subject, I feel like people have just gotten worse, because like when you're on campus, you kind of just exchange information with people.
Yeah.
And if you're coming in as a fresher, right, everything's just online. It's a lot harder to meet people. It's a lot harder to make friends.
Yeah.
So it's like that exchange of information, you know, it doesn't really
It's
happen.
Yeah, that informal information exchange.
Yeah.
Mad. Astute. Tangent on. I mean, there's no real tangent. We can talk about whatever. So
Yeah.
it's all good. Mad. Should we say how do we know each other, Don?
How do we know each other? I guess I should say it. Well, it was during one of our calisthenics sessions, right?
Yeah.
And
Should we explain? We'll explain calisthenics sessions or what calisthenics is. Just say it's bodyweight strength training. That's literally it. So push-ups and pull-ups and you know sit-ups and whatever.
Just using your own body just for like as like weight.
Yeah. So we have a exercise club for that in Exeter. I was president 2 years ago when Dom was a fresher.
Yeah.
I'm vice president now. But for anyone who hasn't listened to our episode with Nick Albanese from yesterday, or I recorded it yesterday. Whenever you listen to it. Listen to it, it's very good. So yeah, we met there basically.
Yeah.
That's where I've met all the homies.
Yeah, it was by La Frauda.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Oh really?
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
so. And you just happened to like mention an anime that was currently airing.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I was like,
Do you
hold
remember
on.
which one it was? Or is it too degenerate to say?
Nah. It was I don't remember the exact name.
Okay.
But I recognized. I'm like, hey, I'm watching that, and I just walked up to you. I'm like, is it this? And you're like, yeah. And then the friendship started from there.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know what it is about calisthenics. Like a suspicious amount of people who are attracted to the society, and just calisthenics in general, like anime.
It's really weird.
You'll see all of these really buff guys making like I don't know, Naruto references in their like inspirational training videos, or like you know Baki, or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, or whatever. You know, it's good to see.
Someone should make a thesis about this. You know, maybe it's like there might be something.
I don't know. What do you think the link is between anime and calisthenics?
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, maybe it's a bit more welcoming than like normal gym, like a normal gym.
Do you think?
Yeah.
How so? I mean, I'd say so. At least for Calisthenics Society, we make a big effort to be very friendly.
Yeah,
and
maybe
we will like cater to anyone's skill level. You know, whether you're a total noob or not. I feel like maybe because in animes, let's say like a typical like you know young guys anime like Naruto or something. You know, you're there training to be the best in the world or something. You know, and you're
but by that logic, there should be a lot of like anime watchers in the gym, right?
There are.
Oh, they are.
There is increasingly more at least, but that's because anime is more mainstream now.
Well, in the gym, I feel like you go with, and then it's like
that's what the Joe Bros
you kind of focus, right? You kind of just get in there.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, you have like you could go with the gym bros and stuff, right? But with calisthenics, I feel like it's a bit more social, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least like with the club, yeah, because we just chat between ourselves, you know, and dick around. So.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, I guess that's the good bit about the club setting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if it's just like, yeah. You see Naruto do a cool training montage, or like Baki, and you're like, man, I want to do that too. Or, you know, they're doing all this cool stuff, like handstands, and maybe you think you want to do that too. I don't know. I think it's also just, you know, if you're young and you get into, you know, exercise, you'll normally just start doing push-ups in your room, or squats or something. You know, joining a gym is not normally the first thing.
Well,
if you're young, at least.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're younger, I don't know, let's say primary, secondary school, right? I mean, typically, sport is kind of... It's like you're either really into it or you're not into it at all, right?
Yeah.
I feel like every school has like the sporty kids, right?
Yeah.
And typically it's like the cool kids. You know? They partake in like football, primarily, right? And but as you grow older, you kind of see, oh wow, you know, PE doesn't suck. You know, there's like tons of sports which are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And you can socialize with people, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit more welcoming when you're actually at university compared to like. You know, secondary school when it's like one for all.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. Well, why did you try calisthenics in the first place?
Why did I join it?
Society.
Oh, that's a good question.
I've never actually asked you.
I think I was watching like a lot of like Chris Harrier.
Oh, okay. yeah, fair enough.
And I was like, wow, this is
What's
so
up,
cool.
Elite Phoenix athletes.
And I'm like a smaller guy, and like you know, which is to my advantage finally.
Yeah, that's true.
With calisthenics, you know.
Yeah.
And it's I mean I feel because with the gym, right? I mean, yeah, you can lift heavier and heavier and heavier, but I feel like you do one handstand and people just go like, whoa!
Yeah.
They go crazy, or like a front lever.
Yeah, if you do a muscle up in the gym, you're the guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we all want to be that guy.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the wow factor kind of drew me in.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it's just way more visually impressive.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I wasn't even gonna like come in for the calisthenics opening Freshers Week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, these guys are gonna be like
nuts,
100% in, dude. They're gonna be like literally walking around in the handstand position.
We're not that good, unfortunately, but I mean, hopefully, Nick's like fucking world class. So,
Okay.
like, unironically, he's going to a world championship like in 2 weeks for like I think street lifting, which is basically powerlifting but calisthenics version. So you have like a weighted pull up, a weighted dip, and then just a regular barbell squat.
Yeah.
Is your total, instead of a squat, bench, and deadlift. But yeah. So anyway, so hopefully next year, the bar is raised. We've got loads of Giga Chads.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll still have Freddie there as well. So it will just be me moving on.
Damn.
But
so sad.
yeah, it'll be weird. There's no calisthenics society in Oxford either, which is, at least to my knowledge.
We can make one.
I don't want to make one during my masters. That'd be too much effort. Like,
true.
But yeah, no. Anyways, so yeah, we just bonded through calisthenics. But I think it's just a very friendly environment.
Yeah.
I know Nick was saying even in London as well, like, you know, you're trying to find all these like, you know, Greek gods, and everyone's just still super friendly and welcoming, you know. Like, but I think that's the fitness community in general. Like, I think people are scared when they start out. They'll be like, people are gonna make fun of them because they're fat or something. But like, we've all been, you know, fat or super skinny, or like, you know, we've all been a noob to start with. You know, we're just all there trying to get juicy together. So
I feel like people have a very weird perception of like fitness.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's still a thing, to be fair, but I feel like it is. Where it's like, oh, you go to the gym and you're just expecting like these, you know, these people who are like roided up, you know, just like absolute like off their head, right? But a lot of people, I bet they just kind of improve themselves, right?
Oh, 100%.
And these are like past skinny people, fat people, so like it's very unlikely you ever get judged for like trying to, you know, go to the gym to, you know, to improve yourself, because like there's tons of people who are in your position, right?
Exactly. You might have like the odd person who's got a bit of an ego, who's a dick.
Yeah.
But like that's so rare. I've only met 1 or 2 people like that in my entire like gym career. Of like, you know, I've been going to a gym since I was 16. You know, I haven't done gym, you know, since like for 2.5 years, because I just went full on the body weight when I became calisthenics president. But like, you know, I'm still working out with people, and everyone's still super lovely. So yeah, I don't really see that many douchebags, to be honest with you. Everyone's just really nice.
Fitness is wholesome.
It is. I remember one time, like, so because I used to play loads of World of Warcraft, right?
Yeah.
Like, I had this like World of Warcraft like t-shirt. It just had like, you have these 2 factions. You have like the Alliance and the Horde.
Yeah.
I was on the Horde side. That's like all the orcs and you know, the Minotaur and like Tauran people and the trolls and whatnot. Yeah. But anyway, so I had my shirt with like my faction's like logo on it, and I just wear it around, you know. And I'd always dream that somebody one day would notice it and be like, oh wow, you know, World of Warcraft, cool. And then so I wore it in the gym as well, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's this guy, at the time, I haven't seen him for ages. I think he's moved to a different gym. But at the time, this guy Des, he's like the biggest guy in the gym, right? Like, I mean, I've seen him cooling down with the heaviest dumbbells in the gym. Like, he's an absolute unit, right? I'm like 16, you know. I'm just in awe of this dude, like, you know. And I'm chatting. He's a lovely guy, right? And I'm chatting to him upstairs, and he's chatting, like, working out with his mate. They're just cooling down or something again. And his mate, like, is like, oh, there's like, look at his shirt. And he's like, oh, you play World of Warcraft? And I was like, ah! Oh, mate, I was so gassed. Like, obviously they were on the Horde as well, you know. So
of course.
We were homies, yeah. But man, I didn't expect it. Like, it was sick, so.
I mean,
and
people are just not that really open about their hobbies, right? So when you actually do see someone who shares the same hobby and they're more open about you know, it's a lot easier to make a connection. It's like, exactly. Oh wow, you like the same thing as I do. Yeah. But like, you know, if you have no one that's open, you know, you're a lot more scared to actually go ahead and say like, oh, are you into this? Because like, what if they're not into this? And now you look like, oh no, now they think I'm weird.
No, this is what I was saying with Nick yesterday. Like, so many people will. If you have a hobby that's a bit out there, or just something that's not normal, and by quote normal I mean watching Netflix all day, Love Island, doing nothing of your life, and just being a fucking vegetable. Like, you know, people will try and often shoot you down. Like, Nick said he got a lot of flack when he just started calisthenics from you know, some guys at school, like, oh, you know, all that's dumb, like, ooh.
Really?
You know, yeah, which it is nuts, you know. Or like anything, you know, like even when he first started salsa dancing, you know, he said some guys, you know, were like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? But like, you know, and then a couple of years later with calisthenics, these same guys ask in his DMs like, oh, how do I get like you? Like, do you know what I mean? But anytime you try something new or out there, like, there'll always be some people trying to chop you down.
I mean, yeah,
because they're insecure about themselves.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to own you have to be proud of your hobbies, like, you know, and your interests. Does that mean you should wear it? What are your thoughts on wearing anime shirts in public? It depends on that anime, right? It depends how cringe it is. Okay. I've seen some horrible, cringe anime shirts out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion that like maybe like a slight reference, maybe like a logo or something.
That's fine.
Maybe that's fine, or just like a cool like in reference of like to the show. I think that's fine. But like, you know, there's limits, right?
Yeah,
like...
yeah. You have some ones which are just like, God, like the cover of Body Pillows with like mostly naked anime girls. Like, I'm like, get that out of my face, man. Like, nah, you don't wear that shit in public. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's different communities with like, you know, with their own kind of like weird kind of bits, right? And you don't really see them.
Keep it under wraps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Save it for Comic-Con. I don't know.
Save it for Comic-Con. I mean, you never really see tons of like furries walking around.
Yeah, I've seen some in Exeter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, everyone, you know, it's whatever they want to do.
Okay,
right?
but you've definitely walked past furries, like, not in their suits, and
I mean, yeah,
and
for sure.
You don't know it. So who is like? It's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Furry. Like who are the secret furries, man? I need to know. Like what goes through their mind?
I
don't know.
We'll go through your mind for watching anime.
What? I mean, anime is different from that's so different from furries, man. Like,
yeah, but that's
this is an insult to compare.
That's probably what they think.
Oh, okay. Nah. Furries on a different level, like, you know.
You know, it's all about perspective. That's the thing.
Yeah. I don't want to get a furry on the podcast. They're banned. At least for now.
To all the furry listeners, I will.
Yeah, what goes through your mind? Leave in the comments. Why do you do furry
I will
stuff?
try to get one of you onto the podcast so we can discuss with Jamie.
Yeah.
About the psychology.
Yeah, I think I did see some. There was this psychologist who I think she infiltrated the furry community, and because everyone's like, oh man, it's also sexual. They just get off in their fursuits, and apparently it wasn't even that sexual, but. I still don't get it, man. Yeah, I think that's just a bad rep, but I'm shutting out my arse here. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like for the most part, I think there are just people who just dress up in furry costumes. I mean,
but they have their personas, like their alter egos.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I mean, yeah.
I don't have an anime alter ego. Even that would be quite weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so. Anyways, that's an extreme minority of the human population.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Have fun, I guess. just keep me out of it.
I mean, as long as I don't like hurting people,
do
bad. I mean, to each your own, right?
Yeah. No. Have like a furry convention right next to like a hunters convention in like America or something.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I wonder if there'd be any tension.
Probably.
Who knows?
I'd be very scared.
What if one furry was like dressed as like a moose or something? And you have like a moose hunters convention next door, or I don't know.
That'll be some poor planning.
That would be very poor planning. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone just comes out and be like, oh, hey guys, look, moose are here.
Yeah. Do you know when people go hunting, so at least say in America, I think deer here as well. A lot of them have white tails that they'll raise it up as a warning sign, right?
Yeah.
When shit's about to go down. So when a hunter is out taking a shit in the woods, if you're using white toilet paper, then another hunter from afar might see you and think you're a deer and shoot you while you're taking a shit, right? So if you're hunting properly, you need they use orange toilet paper. Really? Because say a lot of the hunting colours is camo brown and orange, and that's because I think most animals can't see orange. I think, or at least the ones people hunt, I suppose. So and obviously we can see orange, so it makes it very clear that you shouldn't shoot me. I'm just taking a dump, you know. But yeah, fun fact.
The more you know.
The more you know.
The more you know.
I'm mad. Man, that was a bit of a...
Tangent.
See, it slip and slides
Yeah.
down into degeneracy. Man. We were on anime, bro. Should we just carry on for that? Then we can swing back to calisthenics, or we can go to computer science or whatever. What do you want to talk about?
Well, we could go like we could talk about
Should we
computer science.
slowly? Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Switch
Switch up.
base.
Okay. Nice. I don't know. Tell us about computer science.
Such a broad thing.
Yeah. What's your dissertation on? You were just telling me about
my
that.
dissertation. So originally I was planning on just building something cool, but then one of the professors suggested like a cool idea regarding Solid, which
What's Solid?
So Solid is this kind of platform which is being created by Tim Berners-Lee, which is the creator of the web. And Solid is the platform which basically the idea is that everyone will have their own kind of data pod where you would have all your activity, like the posts you like, your connections, and basically whatever whatever you do online. Because currently we have these corporations like Facebook, Twitter, Apple, they hold all your data, right? And trying to exchange that data between, I don't know, like Facebook and the Google, it's a big pain in the ass. So the idea behind these data pods is that you would have access to your data.
You have full ownership of it.
Yeah, exactly. You would have full ownership, and you can revoke whatever you want from like a company if they change their policies, right? And automatically it makes it easier for companies as well because they're automatically GDPR compliant, which is just like a set of laws saying, oh, you have to maintain your data, make sure that it's secure, make sure that it's up to date, etc., etc. And also with Solid, it makes it so there's more innovation because right now there is no real innovation between big corporations because like why would they? They have all the data. There's no point innovating, right? But the thing with this whole big data is that there is a limit, right? There is a finite amount of data you can really hold. So with these data pods is that some small company can come in and they could offer better services. So let's say I'm listening to Spotify, they have my recommendations list because I've listened to so many songs. They could actually provide me with songs which I might like. But if another platform comes in, smaller dev team, they have some really cool features, but their recommendations suck because they don't have that information on me.
Yeah, because you haven't spent the time listening to their songs, right?
But if I had like my own data pod, well, that's accessible to Spotify, but also to this indie kind of company, and suddenly I'm more maybe inclined to like go to them. So that and maybe perhaps they do have better features which breeds more innovation. And now the big corporations are like, oh crap, now we have to innovate. So the project, so my kind of dissertation would be kind of exploring that idea, like having your own data pod. Maybe I'll build a few quick like kind of platforms to kind of showcase how that would work, and that's kind of the dissertation right there.
Sick.
Which I'm really glad actually I looked through the staff suggest list because like I would have not come across it otherwise.
Oh nice, yeah, no, that's good. I know whatever you like to do, whenever you've presented an idea to me and you're like, oh Jamie, I have this sick idea, like it's always useful to someone, like it's not a vanity project, like you like your projects to be of use and functionality. Whether it's like, oh, I'm gonna need to do this XYZ for my dad, or like, oh, I could help make this work, platform for you, or like whatever, like it's always functional and it always helps someone.
Yeah, because otherwise, that's just kind of my perspective, I guess. But if I'm making something and it's not really much of use, then like why did I build it in the first place?
No, I agree.
That's kind of kind of mindset I have. So I always build with a purpose, I guess.
Nice.
That's kind of has been my motto, I guess.
Yeah. Would you say what's like the best route into computer science? I feel like everyone should at least know like a little bit of coding, right? Like, what would you say? What would your thoughts be? Or, like, not everyone needs to know coding, but like, I feel like it's increasingly useful.
Well, we currently live in this kind of age where it's like being a programmer is like pushed like so much. I feel like there's insane amounts, and like Well, yeah, of course, knowing code is like useful. It's like going up to someone saying like, oh, if you know biology or chemistry, it's good. Well, yeah, of course it's good, right? But I mean, of course, it depends like how relevant it is to like your day to day, right? I mean,
and your dreams.
And minor, I mean, I don't know, unless he's looking to switch careers. I mean, he doesn't really care, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he might be more interested in like the chemistry of like whatever he's mining.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't
That's
know.
true. Yeah. That's very true.
So yeah, it's completely like subject like dependent. I mean, funny you asked me like how to get into computer science, because I feel like the way I took was like such a weird way. Because in my sixth form, I only took computer science for one of my years, because they didn't offer it for my first year, so I took it in the second year. So I only took like half an A level for computer science, and I did terribly in it. But I was still set on doing computer science, and all I needed to get was a good maths grade.
Yeah.
Now the problem with that is that I was the only one in my school who actually did well enough in maths, so they didn't offer it for my second year.
Oh no.
So I was like, well, great. So I took a gap year to finish off my for A level for maths, and I got the grade and I got into Exeter.
Yeah, good.
So but in my first year, I felt very underprepared.
Yeah.
I felt like I really pushed myself too much. I feel like I definitely did get burnt out.
Yeah. How did you push yourself too hard? Like,
well, I like every day I feel like I just had to like study.
Mm-hmm.
So that pretty much that caused it.
Yeah.
I remember specifically actually one deadline was coming up, and I just spent like over 40 hours just like trying to like make sure it's like perfection.
Oof. Did you sleep?
No.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it was like I think it was like 45 hours straight.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Never again. I literally
Yeah.
went up to campus to submit my work, and I was like a zombie.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, never again. And then from that time, I made sure to get my 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, dude. I feel like you're much more on top of your sleep than I am.
Yeah.
I always try. I feel like if I get less than 8.5 hours of sleep, I just feel like shit. But then I'm always going to bed like late or waking up earlier than I need to. My body's just like 7:30, bang, like, you know. Which yeah.
But yeah,
How do you feel about sleep?
How do I feel about sleep?
And
Well,
how do you go about like you? I feel like you've got a very good sleep schedule. Obviously, you're like working 9 to 5 and stuff at the moment, but
well, I say 8
What are
hours.
the tips?
Well, I'm more leaning towards like 7 now, because like,
Okay.
like 7 to 7.5. My tips. Oh, I mean, it's mostly about discipline, to be fair.
so just saying no to staying
Yeah.
up late.
Because right now I wake up. I think I wake up around like 6, or maybe 5:30. I think it's right now it's around 5:30. Not because I want to, but because my dog wakes me up.
Oh yeah. Fair
So
enough.
it's kind of like my hand's been a bit tired. So I go to bed at around like 10ish. I think
Okay,
by
yeah.
time I'm like already dozing off.
Yep, that's good.
So yeah. What recommendations I have for sleeping better? But well, I think the big thing is like make sure you're not touching like any devices like before you want to at least like I think half an hour is like the recommended. But I don't know. It's hard for me to say any like tips, because I fall asleep like pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Okay.
So I'm just kind of like doze off.
I've heard blue lights. Yeah, like half
the
an
blue
hour.
light. Yeah.
I'd like to say I'd try for an hour, but a lot of times it's just
that's like really
doesn't
hard.
happen. You know.
Yeah, that's really hard.
But something I get around that is like I'll read like especially fiction before bed,
Oh,
not
yeah,
non-fiction, because then your mind's still going and thinking about things, but just like a nice bit of fiction before bed. I got that tip from Tim Ferriss, the Wonder Man, author of the 4 Hour Work Week. But yeah, he said like bit of fiction before bed just like conks him out. But then my problem is that then I get really into a book and I'm like, I should just read one chapter, and then I read like 2 or 3, and suddenly like an hour's gone by when it should have been like 20 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
Like I did that with Harry Potter's. I read all of them again last year. I've done it with this like Magician's trilogy, like whatever, man. Like, you know.
Yeah, you just have to set.
So you have to be disciplined.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to set times. And like, okay, now it's off.
Yeah,
no more.
exactly. Because you'll ultimately feel much better with sleep than without. But
I mean, it's kind of the same when it comes to like working out, right? It is entirely discipline. I started working out like even though it was a bit like, you know, like not proper working out at a time. Probably when I was like 16. Yeah, I think I was 16. That's when I like probably like first at least like tried it out. And it has for sure been one of the most consistent things I've done.
Yeah.
I think I think it is the most consistent thing I've done.
Yeah.
But of course, like back then I had like my 4 months off. I had no idea what I was doing. What exercises were like good to even do.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, my first bout of training, it's just one day I do like one set of max push-ups.
Yeah.
The next day I do one set of max squats, just in my room holding a little box.
Yeah.
And I do like a little ab routine the other day, and I did that on repeat without any rest days, like eternally.
And the problem with like working out is that there's so much information out there.
Yeah.
But it's it's.
How do you know what's bullshit and what's not?
Paralysis by analysis. They call
it. 100%. It's like, what diet should I use? Like, do I need to eat protein like 5 milliseconds after I've worked out?
Yeah.
Like, what exercises?
Because people try to
what's going to kill my gains? Like,
because people try to get like the very small advantages, which don't really matter in like the
literally like if you want to make gains, like just exercise consistently. Be in a caloric surplus if you're trying to build muscle. If you're trying to lose weight, be in a caloric deficit.
Yeah.
And then just get a good amount of sleep.
Yeah, ultimately,
that's it. Like that is it.
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, like that is like the fundamentals, right?
Yeah. People get definitely twisted up in the details.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, after you've been lifting for a few years, and that's where you can actually start looking into more stuff. I don't know. Maybe you could add some supplements or like change up your routine or whatever.
Yeah.
But for sure people will overcomplicate this.
Yeah. I think it just takes experience. Like obviously when you're first starting out, I mean, bro, I used to just live like reading like bodybuilding.com, like T Nation, on the weightlifting YouTube, like all the time. Like that was what I do in my spare time. I was obsessed, and like it's good fun. And then I think just over time you'll be able to sift out like the bullshit advice, because you'll eventually figure out what works and what doesn't. At least that was my experience. But I don't know. What do you think?
Well, another thing which actually I've been kind of struggling with is kind of how should I put it? Like working out to live instead of living to working out. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because like
you don't want to feel like you're a slave to your schedule. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was kind of in the mindset of like, okay, just chicken, rice, protein shakes.
Broccoli.
And that's it. That's it. Not allowed anything else. And that was like just day in, day out, working out. And honestly, like one day I thought to myself, I'm like, oh my god, like, where does it end? Where does it end?
This isn't the way to live.
Like, I would go to a restaurant with my family and I would feel guilty eating.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And at that point, I'm like, fuck me,
It's become unhealthy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like I feel like that's the mindset of a lot of people, to be fair.
Yeah. Any self-improvement thing, like it can be so easy to like self-flagellate if you don't, if you're not by the book, like doing everything correct the whole way. But what do you define as correct? What do you define as, like if you're having a good lifestyle, like I mean, like going out for a nice meal is not going to kill you. Like if you're eating healthy food, like I try and make my meals as delicious as possible, right? Like,
I did see a very good line, actually.
Yeah?
You're not going to get fit from eating, like, one salad, but so the reverse is also true. You're not going to get fat from one burger. Like...
That's true.
Like, if...
Insofar as you're not saying that to yourself every single meal.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, but if you're consistently eating well, you know...
Yeah,
that applies. Fine. Like, it's fine. Like...
What's your opinions on cheat meals?
Good question. I think they're kind of necessary, honestly. Well, okay. Maybe not necessary, but I feel like mentally, for your own like mental health, I feel like they're good. Because I mean, you have to reward yourself at some point, right? I mean, like, what are you working out for exactly, right? Ultimately, and if you're going through life, and the only reason you want to, live is just to look good, then yeah, sure, go ahead and eat chicken and rice for the rest of your life. But I mean, ultimately, you kind of want to experience different cuisines, right? You want a different experience with different foods. I mean,
but you can do that while still having good macronutrients.
Yeah, sure. So you're asking about like about days where it's like you go like well over the top, right?
Yeah, for me, like I don't like the concept of cheat days. Let's say you're in a relationship, right?
Right.
You know, let's say you're in a committed relationship with Miss Chicken, Broccoli, and Rice, right?
Right.
You wouldn't in your relationship have a cheat day where you just go and sleep with other women, right? For example, that's a rough analogy.
That is very different.
No, hear me out. But then, like, say with a cheat day, I think it gives you the mentality that, you know, you're looking forward to your cheat day so much with your, you know, eating all your food, that I think it would make me regret and dislike my normal meals. When that should be my baseline. And I should be excited to eat my healthy meals. Like, you know, I enjoy having my smoothie every day. You know, I have a banana in there, I have some peanut butter, I have some berries, it's delicious, you know. I like having some nice, like, protein-filled meals. You know, I try and make them tasty. And in that sense, I don't need a quote-quote cheat meal. Like, you know when you said, oh, man, I'm so looking forward to having a Domino's pizza. And you had it, and you were like, bro, I felt like absolute shit. It was horrible, okay? So I don't like this concept of cheat meals. I think you should make all of your meals delicious and healthy.
Okay,
right?
I
then
agree.
if you want to have a bit of cake sometime, like, that's fine. But I wouldn't consider it, like, a quote-quote cheat. I just add that into your overall macros, you know.
By that metric, then I agree.
So.
If you okay, then I guess that's probably a better way of thinking about it, right? Where it's like it fits into your macros.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Because I mean I feel like people look at macros as like just like a day to day, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna hit 2,000. Where in reality, you know, how about looking at it for like a week window, right? Where it's like you're hitting like 1,400 calories, right?
Yeah, I think that's a better time frame.
Where it's like so you can have like days where it's like, you know, go a bit over, a bit under, you know, and it equals out to that amount.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But I do agree on your point about cheat meals, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Good. I was like a gun to my head.
Yeah. No, nice. I have something else to say about cheat meals, but I can't remember. But yeah.
Funny you bring up that.
Macros. Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
Oh, it's funny why you brought that Domino's pizza kind of example. I remember that day.
Yeah. You were so disappointed.
Yeah.
I was gonna say micronutrients as well. When we talk about macronutrients, for anyone who doesn't know, like that's your fats, your carbohydrates, your proteins, like the main building blocks of your food that give you your calories. So basically the ratio of your fats to your protein to your carbohydrates, that's like your macronutrient. They are your macronutrient, your three macronutrients, and the split of them. People debate what's best and
like the no carbs. That's
yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. Then in that aspect, it's like, what's the difference between just having 200 grams of sugar, some whey protein, and some olive oil? Like, obviously that's so bad for you. Like, you need to think about your micronutrients, which is all your vitamins and minerals, and like that's the reason I don't really like lots of the artificial food, which I'm ready to fucking at Optimum Nutrition's shit marshmallow bar in a second. Okay, I'll come back to that. So I don't like any of the artificial food. Just eat as naturally as possible. Have as many fruit and vegetables as possible. But like, you just need to be healthy and like just eat your natural foods, and like the quality of your food is so important as well. Like, you know, if you eat like shit quality food, it's gonna taste like shit, and like, you know, that's the quality of fuel you're putting in your tank. You know, you want it to be as good as possible because this is the vessel through which you experience life. So you don't want it to be shit, you know. But coming back, okay, Don bought a protein bar earlier in Boots, and it's from Optimum Nutrition, which is a very well respected, right, like quote, you know, like seen as one of the good, you know, the good protein brands out there.
Yeah.
And it was just, what was it? It was like a marshmallow crisp.
Marshmallow, yeah, crispy.
Oh my god, dude, it was horrible. Bar. This is from supposedly like one of the really good, you know, like Optimum Nutrition, like gold standard way is like seen as a very good thing, but you know, like a top quality product. This marshmallow bar, I've never had a worse protein bar in my life. The aftertaste was literally like vomit. Like, so never buy that ever. Optimum Nutrition, like, please sort your stuff out. Like, whoever's like your taste tester probably has long COVID and like has lost their sense of taste. Like, please check them out. Like,
yeah, it was.
You didn't get it, what I said at first.
Yeah.
But then you got it.
Because I was eating it. I was like, I was like, you know, taking bites of it. So I had to like wait a few seconds for it to hit me.
Well, nah. Oh man, it's horrible. Like.
Yeah, man, it's no more. No more of that.
I feel like eating that. not quite, but it's almost on the level of something you should do on Jackass. I just eat that bar and just see if you don't.
That's the entire challenge.
Yeah.
Just eat the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, Jackass. It's so dumb, but it's so good. Like I said to you earlier, like I only watched my first one in April, but like, you think it's one of the dumbest things. You're like, who would ever enjoy watching this? Yeah. And then like 5 minutes in, you're like, yeah, like
engaged.
Yeah, like Steve-O, get that alligator snapping turtle that'll bite you on the ass. Like, it's so dumb. Like, I don't know if, I mean, obviously some women must enjoy it as well. Like, but there's definitely like, you see those memes online where like it's like, this one's for my male viewers, and it's just a guy chucking a massive rock into a lake.
Yeah.
Like this one's for the guys. Like,
yeah, it is like that type of show.
It's dumb guys doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
But it is funny. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just, anytime I see something in public, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm Jamie Bolam, this is Jackass. Like, I just imagine what kind of shit could go wrong, I've already kind of half broke my backpack strap, bum sliding down a mountain in Wales. Thankfully the backpack's still fine, but it was a bit sad. But I got a good video. So I had, honestly, if you're like on a grassy like hill going down and your knees are tired, just like slide in your ass, because it's so much easier. Just make sure you don't get a wedgie, and like, honestly, it was way easier. Like, it definitely helped me out. I just went over a bump and like my backpack kind of took a little bounce. One of the strap, like a plastic bit, broke, but apparently they do free repairs for Osprey backpacks. So,
wow, yeah,
there you go. Sponsored by Osprey. Actually not, but
you wish, but
yeah, give us money. No, I shall not. Yeah, nice. What other keys do we have? What do you want to talk about?
Well, you choose. You're the host.
I am the host. I'm the Supreme Leader. Okay, I want to know how you got beefy as fuck. In the past year, Dom has like gotten so buff. Like, dude, it's crazy. Like, you really muscled up. Like, my progress in the gym is always so slow. Like, I'm a hard gainer. I take ages to put on weight. I take ages to like make any progress on my moves. Like, but you've just like. You've literally, like, I was shocked when you came over in, like, October or something. Like, the size of your biceps just astounded me, like.
The secret is, well, for the past 2 weeks, I haven't really been working out because I got injured.
Yeah.
So it's been very tough getting back into it. But I've been, but while I was injured, I've been just kind of making sure I was still eating. I just kind of like a deficit.
Mm-hmm.
So
you want to cut?
Yeah, right now I am. I think I'll go on a boat once it's like maybe July or something. I'm like getting to that period where I'm like, I want to go back on a boat because I'm just kind of feeling weak a bit more quite a lot of the time.
Exactly. But yeah, what was your bulking secrets? Because it obviously worked.
Bulking secrets. Funny you say that because I think it was you that recommended me probably the biggest secret, and it was the full fat milk. Honestly,
full fat milk. Yeah.
Honestly, I just combined it like with my protein shakes and my smoothies, and like I feel like that just kind of like just kind of did it. But when you're bulking, I had troubles because I started to feel very bloated.
Yeah. I guess especially with milk.
Yeah.
You're mildly lactose intolerant. I don't know. But I think some people are often mildly lactose intolerant.
Oh yeah, true. If you're lactose intolerant, then it must be pretty rough.
But then just don't drink milk. So
yeah.
But no, milk is a secret weapon.
Yeah, but I think milk is a secret weapon. Other than that, I think blending stuff into smoothies. I think that is like one of the
drinking your calories.
Secrets. Yeah, drinking your calories is like the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to blend in like oats, coconut milk with full fat milk with some protein scoops, that is
peanut
like
butter.
Yeah, peanut butter, chucking some fruit. That is like plenty, and it's so much easier than like trying to eat through like 5 chicken breasts.
Yeah, I used to have 100 grams of oats in my porridge every day, and like trying to choke it down. You get used to it, but then once I then like reduced my portions and then went back up again when I was trying to get beefy, like it was so tough,
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like drinking it is just so much easier.
Yeah.
Well, another tip I'd use is on my pasta, for example, I'll always put olive oil on it. Like I'll always get extra virgin, top quality. But like, it's just because it's really good for you as well. But it's just extra calories. Like fat has 9 calories per gram.
Yeah.
Whereas carbohydrates and protein have 4. So if you're trying to put on the extra chub, then or not chub, hopefully it's muscle.
Yeah,
but if you're trying to like get your calories up, especially if you really struggle to put on weight like I do. Like,
Chug some olive oil.
I wouldn't say chug it. I tried a little shot from like the cap one time, because it's oil. Like, you know, we're water based creatures, right?
Yeah.
So like oil and water don't mix. So it kind of like burned a bit as it went down my throat. Definitely mix it in with food, you know. But yeah, put it in your pasta. Extra taste, extra calories.
True.
But,
I mean, fat is flavor.
Yeah,
like,
it is. That is very true. That's very true. That's what they say about meat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like steaks and whatnot.
Yeah, the more fatty it is. Like,
yeah. That'd be sick. Yeah, but you know, milk is the secret. Like, because I guess the most famous example is so what's the guy Mark Ripito? He's like this weightlifting or strength powerlifting coach, dude. But he's got this program like 5x5 strong lifts, which is one of the foundational. Like, if you're ever getting started like weightlifting in the gym, like that is one of the ones like people often say like try starting strength, because it's, you know, it's called starting strength. You know, if you're first starting strength training, it's all barbell movements. I'd say, I mean, I'd whack in pull-ups personally over like barbell rows, but it's pretty solid, you know, especially for your squat, bench, and deadlift. But his tip is just drink a gallon of milk a day. A gallon of milk is 8 pints, which is just nuts, right?
Yeah, it is
so
nuts.
We don't sell gallon pint, you know, milk things here in the UK. So I went for 6 pints, which is the biggest ones we get, and it's doable. You have like 2 pints in the morning, 2 pints around lunchtime, 2 before bed, and like I feel day to day, you obviously don't notice how big or small you're getting.
Yeah.
But like when I was with Nick the other day, like I showed him some pictures. This time last year, I was in the Bahamas with like my marine biology like coral reef field trip, which was just it was sick. And there was a picture of me like shirtless, like holding 2 coconuts, right, that I got from a tree. And Nick said like I look way bigger now, and I was like, whoa, get in, like, because I wasn't even sure if the milk was working.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think it did. I just didn't notice it, you know. And like Freddie said as well, I'm definitely bulked up, especially if I look back, you know, 2 years ago, you know, or even a year ago. I definitely feel a bit bigger, you know, which is nice. So
yeah, you don't realize the results until like someone mentions it to you.
Exactly. So always, take a good before and after photos, I guess.
Yeah.
Or just take update photo, or just have something as reference. Make sure the lighting's the same in your before and after photo as well, so you're not killing yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, milk is the one. What would you say if you're trying to slim down? I mean, obviously, then if you're just using milk, just don't drink the milk.
Well,
I just eat more vegetables.
Well, if you're slimming down, I feel like I've got this. Like, I feel like I'm at a point where it's like if I want to bulk up, I can't easily do it, and then if I want to go on a cut, I can easily do that as well.
What's your tips?
So, here are Dom's tips. So if you're a milk addict like I am, I fucking love dairy.
Yeah.
Switch out the milk for soy milk.
Oh yeah.
That is the big one because it has good protein and it's much lower calories.
Yeah. I think soy milk is the same calories as red milk, so then it's just dependent on taste and price.
Yeah. But soy milk is like great, honestly.
Yeah, I like it.
Like, compared to like what's it? Coconut milk. Well, coconut milk is like
it's expensive.
With that, and like I think it's pretty calorie.
And there's also soy milk is the only like one of the plant-based milks that has the same protein level as dairy milk. Almond milk has barely any protein.
Almond milk has like
coconut has barely any.
Yeah. Right.
Like, which if you're just vegan or you're just doing it for whatever, like sure. But if you're concerned about your protein levels, you know, like,
and also the almond milk.
Respect the milk.
I don't like the almond milk taste that much.
Oh really? Yeah. I don't mind it.
It's a bit off, but I think soy milk is like really nice. I would get like the non-sugary one, but the sugary one is like really good.
Yeah. I like them both.
But
they use apple to sweeten it normally, which is nice.
But yeah, soy milk is really good. What else? I mean, quite simply, you just have to eat less, right? Oh, actually, another thing. Actually, so when I was bulking, I was having I feel like the best way to cut down is literally just make substitutions. Yeah. So when I was bulking, in the morning I would have a protein shake and I would have a peanut butter bagel.
Yeah.
So just slice the bagel in half, whack some peanut butter on there. Boom, that's my breakfast. So I'm like, well, I really like it. So I made a little switch. So instead, I would have still the protein shake, and I would have like 3 rice cakes with like just a bit of peanut butter. Yeah, it's a simple substitution, but it's like less calories, right?
Yeah. That's the thing with milk. Like my method, my ideology was just like depending on whether I want to get bigger or smaller, like, you know, just change the color of my milk from blue to red. You know.
Yeah.
And like all other things considered, or like I would say like, eat your fruit and vegetables first in your meals and eat a lot of them. Okay, anyone who tells you, like, don't eat too many fruit or veg, like, shut the fuck up, okay? Like, you're just chatting major shit, okay? There is nothing wrong with eating any fruit or veg, okay? Anyone who tells you otherwise, like, they're just trying to get you to buy their products or some bullshit.
Honestly, I was going to ask you about, like, your thoughts on fruit, because honestly...
I love fruit, man.
I love fruit. Honestly, if you get, like, for dessert, like, if I just got, like, a bowl of just fruit, I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, no, literally, straight up, like, so yeah, like, and it fills you up, you know?
Yeah, fruit is great.
And, like, if you're trying to bulk, you want calorie-dense foods, which have a lot of calories for, like, low mass. If you're trying to cut, you want very voluminous food that doesn't have many calories. And fruit and veg is, like, the one, you know.
If you have a sweet tooth,
Fruit.
yeah, 100 grams of strawberries, how many calories do you think that is?
I don't know, 30?
Yeah, 40.
Oh, 40. Oh, nice. There we go. Yeah,
Not bad.
Yeah, nice. Did you know apparently strawberries have more vitamin C than a lemon?
Ooh.
Yeah. How wild is that? I think so. But yeah, like fruit's the one, and veg. So what I used to do is I would eat loads of, especially focus on your greens. Like other fruit and veg is good, obviously, but people often neglect their greens, and especially like your cruciferous vegetables, which is like broccoli, you know, all that family. So broccoli, kale, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, you know, cauliflower, dinosaur kale, like Cavolo Nero, whatever you call it, like 10-stem broccoli, if you're posh.
Yeah.
You know, or you want to splash out, like those have, they're very good for you. They're linked to like, you know, reduced rates of cancer and stuff like that. And also broccoli's dirt cheap. Everyone loves broccoli. Or the other one I also like, I've been slacking recently, but I'd always make an effort to eat at least one tomato a day. Because I remember reading a study, tomatoes have this compound in them called lycopene, which basically they engineered these tomatoes. Some that like they fed these mice. Like these mice were engineered to get cancer, right? And they had some that they didn't feed any tomatoes to, and they had the highest cancer rates. They fed regular tomatoes to some others, and their cancer rates decreased. And then they engineered some tomatoes that had like double the amount of lycopene, or you know, something like that, and they were like purple tomatoes, and their cancer rate dropped ridiculously, right? Like the lycopene compound is just, you know, it's all preventative stuff, you know, like they're so good for you, you know. So I always make an effort, like to eat tomatoes.
Well,
I used to not like them, but now
we're getting into the season of tomatoes.
Yeah.
This is like peak. Also, if you can, heirloom tomatoes.
Heirloom tomatoes.
Yeah.
What's that like?
What
is it? What's an heirloom tomato?
Oh my goodness! You know.
Dom, pull that shit up.
Oh my god! So my grandma back in Poland has like a tomato farm. And it's absolutely gorgeous. The best tomatoes I've ever had. So basically, this is you would have to put as a reference. They're very different colors, different shapes and sizes, but they're amazing. Like literally, like, all you need is So look how beautiful they look.
Oh wow!
So basically, all you need then is just like some nice bread, bit of butter. You slice it up nice and thin, and then all you need is literally just salt, and then literally they will bleed juices. That's how juicy they are.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
They're amazing. So you probably could find them in some like farmer markets.
Yeah.
Like soonish.
Yeah. Honestly, there are a few things I think are worth paying extra money for in life. Tomatoes, porridge oats, toilet roll.
Yeah. Mattress.
Accommodation. Yeah. Sleeping stuff. Also, just where you live, like security and. You don't notice it until it's gone, okay? If you're going on a hike, then socks, your bag and your boots. But like in terms of food, like tomatoes are one of the top. Like, don't buy those shit salad tomatoes, okay? Like, even if you can buy some on the vine, like, they're so much nicer and tastier, man. Like, they're so good. Also, did they say you should eat tomatoes at room temperature, right? If for optimum.
Yes.
Optimum taste, not from the fridge.
So the problem with tomatoes is that, of course, like they're the best in summer, and every other season is kind of like meh.
Yeah.
And typically, what they do, if people watch Kenji Lopez, I'm very sorry because I'm going to be repeating this for the 50th time.
Who's Kenji Lopez?
A great YouTube cook.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the way tomatoes are done, like in the different like seasons, is basically they pick them like pretty much green.
Yeah.
Because if they cannot just pick them like instantly, you know, like when they're done, because when they transport them, they'll just get squished.
Yeah.
So that they're taken like when they're not really like ripe, and then they artificially like ripen them up. So the way to get around that is you can buy cherry tomatoes, because the way it's kind of I don't know the exact like mathematical thing, but basically it's like since it's smaller, it's more concentrated in the flavor. But since like the bigger tomato, the less kind of like that
they're more bland.
Yeah. So if you're buying tomatoes out of season, buy some cherry tomatoes.
Okay, nice.
That's the recommendation.
Sweet, man. Nah, tomatoes is good. What's your top like fruit and veg?
Fruit and veg.
Also, lean a bit closer to the mic.
Okay.
There we go.
So top fruit. Honestly, I love berries. Like any berry, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. Yeah. Honestly, anything like that.
Bro, Polish blueberries are delicious. Like also, Poland just love blueberries, like in like pierogi and stuff, like the dumplings.
Yeah.
Like blueberry pierogi, you can buy them like frozen from stores or fresh, like with a bit of cream. Oh,
typically, I think my family does it with like mushroom and like cabbage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's more for Christmas, to be fair.
Oh, what's that? Fuck, I bought some croquette, like croquets with mushroom and oh no, sauerkraut was kapusta, right?
Yeah,
pasta, right? And mushrooms was like gryczana or something. I can't remember.
I know.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. That's the extent of my Polish knowledge.
Yeah, but pierogi is good.
I love pierogi. Dumplings are just class.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. What about vegetables? What's your favourite veg?
Vegetables. Ooh, that's a hard one. Well, I know they're not vegetables because they're fruit, the tomatoes, right?
Yeah.
But like, look, I saw
a savoury.
Look, there was a very good statement I saw is that knowledge, intelligence is knowing that tomatoes are fruit, but wisdom is not putting tomatoes in a fruit salad.
yeah, that's very true, very true. I always see people with, like tomato juice just weirds me out. But then we used to like passata and stuff, which is just slightly thicker tomato juice in like it's pasta sauces and shit. So yeah, no, I let me see, favorite veg.
Oh, green beans.
Green beans are good. What, like the long ones?
Yes.
Yeah,
they're great.
I like them. I like. To understand, broccoli's super nice. Broccoli, tomatoes can be nice if they're really good. Otherwise, like cucumbers are underrated, man.
Oh, I hate cucumbers.
You don't like cucumbers?
No. I like pickles though. Apparently, it's a genetic thing. But
really?
Yeah, apparently, because I know quite a few people which are like that. They don't like cucumbers, but like they're fine with pickles.
Oh man, okay.
Yeah,
pickles are good.
Yeah.
And then for fruit, I love melons, like honeydew melon. Delicious. And then berries are great. I like bananas as well.
Oh, bananas are great, yeah.
Bro, all the bananas we eat are from like there's this variety called Cavendish bananas, which is like all the bananas we eat, and they're all clones of each other, right? Because like they don't have any seeds, so you can't like breed them. Like they're all just cuttings of the same plants.
Yeah.
So if one disease comes around, like they're fucked, right? So they use loads of fungicides and loads of other things to try and keep them safe. But like before the 1950s, so you know when you eat a banana flavored thing, it doesn't taste like a banana. Yeah. So the reason that is because before, like in the 1950s and before that, the main like farmed banana was called like a Gros Michel. It's like Big Mike banana, and it was like way bigger, way tastier. Like tasted like the fake quote fake banana taste, right? But then this disease came along because again they were all clones of each other. So this disease called Panama disease came along. It's like this fungus thingy. And it basically like wiped them, like made it so that you can't even like commercially farm them because this disease will just demolish them. So then they had to swap to a more resistant variety, which is the Cavendish, which is more resistant to this disease. You can still find like Gros Michel bananas, but like they're nowhere near as they used to be like the one you'd buy, and no longer. But there are so many different types of bananas. Okay, and there's this one called which like apparently tastes like vanilla ice cream, which is called like a blue Java banana. And I think when it's unripe, it literally is blue. Like it looks like it's a blue banana, right? And then it like I think it ripens and it's like yellow, or maybe it's the other way around. I've seen pictures of blue and yellow ones, but
different countries have like. Different countries have like different selections of like obviously like fruit and veg. Like I don't remember where. I think maybe Mexico or somewhere in South America. For example, there was a comparison between like America and like South America.
Yeah.
Like for example, potatoes. Like they had like so many varieties of potatoes in South America.
But you go to America, that's like the homeland of potatoes.
Yeah, but
like
you go
South
to
America.
Yeah, but you go to like the US and it's like you only have like 3-4 types. That's the thing, is it's completely, dependent. Or in Mexico, right, they have like tons of different peppers, right?
Oh yeah.
It's,
Are peppers, I guess they must originate from South Central America then as well.
yeah, I think so.
Bro, same as tomatoes. I've seen pictures of like, say, before like, Europeans went over to the Americas, like there were no tomatoes in Italy, right? So they didn't have pizza, right? And pasta, like they just ate it like without tomato sauce. Like,
Yeah.
you can't imagine. That's just weird. Do you know what I mean? We associate tomatoes with Italy now, because like it's such like that's like the integral,
Yeah.
item. So that's weird to think. Or like fish and chips. Like we wouldn't have chips because potatoes came from South America. Stuff like that. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
But I remember reading some very interesting research, which was saying basically because we thought before Europeans came over to America, like it was just they had no outside contact with the world since like the Ice Age, right? When they first moved from like Siberia through North America to like South America. But you've since found like weird similarities where like first like Christopher Columbus wasn't even the first European to get to America in like 1492. He sailed the ocean blue, like whatever. The island that we went to in the Bahamas was actually the one he supposedly landed on first, called San Salvador. It's got like 900 people on it. It's teeny. There's one road going around the whole thing, but like lovely island. Definitely recommend it. But anyways, like the Vikings got there in like the 1000, the Viking Age, around 1000 AD, 1100, and their name you see in sagas. Obviously, you literally find Norse ruins there, so there's no question like they were there, right? For some reason, their settlements didn't work out. I don't know why, because they lived in Greenland, and they lived in like Iceland, which are way more inhospitable than
They just got bored.
Canada. Maybe they got bored. Maybe they just politics. Maybe they just died. I don't know. But that was in like Newfoundland and like Atlantic America there. And I think in sagas you'll hear their name for like the natives of like say Greenland for example and stuff like that. They call them like Skraelings. That was their name for the people. It sounds quite metal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But anyways, so there's that. But then I think before that as well, the first like contact, you had weird similarities between like the names of yam. I think yams and chickens maybe in like Polynesian languages and some of like the native South American languages. Well, like the name for yam would be pretty much the same, or the name for chicken would be pretty much the same. And they've since found out that they had contact there where like other through trading. I don't know if they found genetic evidence of them mixing, but they definitely traded like before Europeans even got there, which is like really interesting. So, bit of human history. But man, the Polynesians literally spread across the world so fast. Like that's the fastest like expansion of humans in history. They literally like the Pacific Ocean is literally half the world, and yeah, like see, Maori's only got to New Zealand like 1300 AD. They're only there for like 300-400 years before Europeans showed up, and before then, no human had ever set foot in New Zealand, like ever. When we still had Vikings roaming the seas, New Zealand was untouched by humanity, which is pretty crazy. Like the Roman Empire was at like at its height, and New Zealand was still uninhabited by people. The Egyptians had long been and gone, like, and New Zealand was still uninhabited. Like, that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So like elephant-sized birds. They're not elephant birds. Those lived in Madagascar, but like, literally like 10 feet tall, like giant moa birds, like, flightless owls, like one gigantic eagle that preyed on the giant birds. Like, it was crazy. So,
imagine being like washed up on New Zealand that during that time.
Man, it would have been cool. We've missed all these cool animals by so short of a time. Like it makes me really sad as a biologist. Like dodos,
it would be like
moas.
It would feel like you'd be on a completely different planet.
Yeah, bro, it'd be so sick.
Because like even if you were to go to like I don't know like the beach in New Zealand, I don't think you can see Australia, can you?
No.
Probably not, right? So you just feel like you're just some fucking alien planet.
Yeah, especially like, but we get used to it because we've got the internet. We can see literally everything. But let's say if you've just been raised in your little village in the UK, and you go out on a boat. Right, when you think the world is flat and you're like, okay, we're going to circumvent the world, or we might even just fall off the edge of the world, but you go and do it anyways, like you find a whole new continent, like that's pretty crazy, like so
the age of discovery must have been like wild, like
it must have been pretty cool.
You end up on these like new lands, you're like, where is this?
Yeah. Man, man, crazy. Just for cool animals. You know, we had woolly mammoths were alive still when the pyramids were being built. Because everyone, most of them went extinct like at the end of the Ice Age, like 10, 12,000 years ago. But you had these small populations off like the coast of Siberia and Alaska, like namely Wrangel Island off the coast of Siberia, where they survived till like 3000 BC or something. So we were this close to seeing woolly mammoths, but they were already inbred because it was like a small island population. So apparently, like they've like done genome analyses and they were all pretty like fucked up, but they still would have been cool to see. So yeah.
I mean, it's one thing like going from like one European country to another, right? But like imagine going from like the UK to somewhere in South America, right? It's like completely different.
Yeah.
Like how like your mind must have been just absolutely blown at that time.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, on both sides, I'm sure. Like,
yeah.
I know that the native like South Americans, like the Aztecs and stuff, like they'd see like the conquistadors riding horses, and they thought they were like one animal, right? like a man beast. They didn't know what a horse was, so they'd see someone riding a horse, and they thought it looked like some sort of centaur, double-headed thing,
Oh yeah, because I mean you would think that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like crazy.
Like if you haven't seen like these animals before, you're like, what is that?
Yeah. Literally.
That's what probably like a lot of legends were born of, like like Bigfoot or something, like
yeah. I wonder.
It's probably were just like big fucking bear or something at that time. But like, oh my, nah, dude, it's a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, say in the Age of Discovery, like you'd have rumors, coming from like the Congo of some giant, hairy man creature, and people around like bullshit,
Yeah.
But now we know that as a gorilla, right?
Yeah.
So you never know what was legit and what wasn't. Like the Norse stories of the Kraken and stuff might be like bullshit, but giant squids exist. They might not be able to take down a big boat, but I'm sure if you pissed one off and you're on a kayak, like it could probably take you down.
Is there like a conspiracy that you believe?
Any conspiracy theories?
Yeah. Anything you're into?
As growing up, because I like animals, and stuff, like all of the cryptids, like cryptozoology, like Bigfoot or like Loch Ness Monster, like hardcore believer,
Yeah.
Even when I was 16, I went to Loch Ness, I still had my binoculars out just in case, But yeah, now.
Anything now?
What do you like? Any conspiracy theory?
Yeah. Anything that you believe in?
Oh man, that's too broad. I don't know. There must be some that people would probably say, but I don't know.
I got one.
What's your one?
Yeah. I'm 100% on this. Okay.
Okay.
If you were to type in like Eye of the Sahara.
Eye of the Sahara. Okay.
Yeah. I am 100% on this train, and the like some
Is
people
like Atlantis or some shit?
Yes. I am very much on board about like this could be the place where Atlantis used to be.
Oh yeah. Mauritania. Okay.
Yeah, the rich art structure. Well, basically, like from what I recall, like there was a guy on YouTube, I forgot his name, but he kind of goes through and basically like you can see like the sand, like the direction of it, like it was like almost like as almost as if there were like water kind of like going by, and there's like tons of like salt there as well.
How big is it though?
It's pretty big. And you can see.
When you find evidence of human activity, though.
I mean, remember what was supposed to happen to Atlantis? They got absolutely destroyed. I mean, you can see you can see it. And there's like nothing left there.
Yeah, I guess.
And apparently, there's like different like elevation points, like on there.
There are like the 3 rings. There was somewhere else I remember seeing. I don't know if it was in Africa or maybe like Iberia. But I mean, even like Plato mentioned Atlantis, I think, in some of his things.
Yeah.
So like,
I feel like it's completely feasible.
It's feasible.
But like, I don't know.
You could have had an earthquake and a flood.
Yeah, some sort of like maybe earthquake or something that happened and just flooded the thing.
Also, the film Atlantis is so underrated. Like, that was a childhood classic. Did you watch that one?
No, I haven't.
Oh, bro, it's so sick. That and like Treasure Planet, man. Yeah. Okay, that's a good.
But I feel like that's a reasonable fear to believe in, not like flat Earth or something,
Yeah, okay. There's some conspiracy theories. I can't remember like which ones. I'd be like, okay, this is legit. This can be political. It can be like an animal, like whatever. Like just list them off. That you remember.
The moon landing being fake?
Probably not. No. I mean, I think that's legit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you couldn't bullshit that.
I think somebody like figured it out, but it would cost way more to try to fake it than to actually go there.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to flat Earth a bit, you know.
Bullshit.
That is, I mean, like, I feel like that's more like a meme more than anything.
Yeah.
What about conspiracy? I mean, there's tons of conspiracy theories, right? But like,
I think if there were any quote that I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure, it would be COVID-19 related ones, in the sense of okay, what who okay, we have no idea how it fucking started, right? And especially when it kicked off, how are you supposed to know? Like, you know, everyone's like, okay, you know, this is definitely correct and this one's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
It definitely didn't come from a lab. You know, all the media's like, anyone who believes that is definitely, you know, you're a racist, you're like, you know, a conspiracy theorist, whatever. And then a year later, everyone's forgotten. Then, you know, that they were saying all this. And then Biden and everyone's like, oh yeah, maybe it did come from a lab, you know? So I find like, how are we supposed to know what's true or not? Like, how do you have the authority to dismiss it before you've even looked into things? Like, the Wuhan Institute of Virology literally, like, does research into gain of function of coronaviruses, you know? Yeah. And, like, all this shit. I mean, who did I have listening to some good podcasts on it? I think it was, like, Brett Weinstein or something. It was either on his podcast or something like that. But, I mean, they'll explain it way better than I can. Or maybe it was on Chris Williamson's Modern Wisdom podcast, but things like that, it's like, where it's like, how can you dismiss something when you haven't even done the research into it? Like, how can you be so sure?
Yeah.
You know, it came from wildlife market when we haven't done the research. You know, if you've done the research and you can definitively prove it, sure. But like the coronavirus, like, seems like it was just perfectly designed to just infect humans. You know, like apparently like Brett Weinstein, I think he does like. Let me look up what he does. He's a biologist. Brett Weinstein. That's him. Yeah, professor of biology. What exactly does he do? I mean, he's one of the intellectual dark web. Ooh. Scary stuff. Clean your room. Ooh. But anyways, like, he said, I think he looked through the virus, like, you know, molecular makeup, or someone did, and they said like, yo, like, all these things just seem like they've suspiciously been plopped in. Or like, it just seemed very sus, you know. So to dismiss like fully that it definitely just came from a cave, maybe it did, you know. Maybe it's just coincidences. But until you've definitively proved it, like, don't decide what the truth is. Yeah. That's all I'm saying, you know. And like, say China won't let anyone in to like properly, like, you know, the Chinese government, you know, like, to properly investigate it. So it's all very suspicious in my opinion. You know. But yeah, I feel like we need to make a distinction between China and the Chinese government is the big bad. Okay, yeah. Most of the Chinese people I've met have been lovely, and I think a lot of people, obviously now with tensions and geopolitics, like, you know, China's, you know, quite rightly in some ways seen as a big bad, but that's the Chinese government. Yeah. The Chinese people I've met have all been lovely, right? So I'd encourage people to get to know them. Like, they're all sweeties as far as I know, at least the ones I've met. You've obviously got douchebags everywhere, but, you know, and I think the elephant in the room is always talking about politics, because even, you know, my Taiwanese friends, or, you know, they say, or friends from Singapore or whatever, they say, like, you know, it can be very touchy. Yeah. You know, because obviously people are being fed censorship. You know, they're being fed a very different idea of what, you know, is out there and what the truth is. And it can get quite heated, but you know, beyond that, like, all the ones I've met, very nice, you know. So yeah, but you should fear the Chinese government. I think they're scary. Yeah. I wouldn't want to go to China. Yeah, I'd be too scared. From a developer perspective, very, very scary as well. Oh really? Yeah. How so? Well, they collect a lot of data. Oh yeah, I mean, everything is any government that's based in China. Sorry, not any government. Any business based in China has to comply and, like, basically hand over their data, right? Especially TikTok is probably the TikTok's so dumb. I refuse to get TikTok. Just use Reels on Instagram, okay? There is going to be data, okay, in the future. The future president of the USA, okay, is out there, 14 years old, twerking on TikTok, okay, and doing all this dumb shit, okay, and one day the Chinese government is going to be like, yo, do what we say, or we're going to release these embarrassing videos of you when you're 14 years old. Like, TikTok collects, like, so much data, like, even the data that they shouldn't be collecting. Oh really? Like, what? Oh god, I can't say that to my mind. I think it's about, like,
your habits on like applications like when you're not even on TikTok.
Oh, it tracks you.
Yeah,
That's so bad.
I believe so. But that's why I'm pretty sure it's banned in India.
Oh, really?
Nice. Yeah, they were like planning on banning it in the US. I think the US government. I feel like if you're part of the military, you very much push saying like do not have TikTok on like your like make sure like none of your family members have TikTok or like you have TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like security concerns.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Like, okay, Huawei phones. I don't know who it was who showed me it. Their Huawei phone. If you cover because it has like face recognition, right? So it can like open up your phone, right? Or just by you looking at it or whatever, But you can obviously type it in with passwords, and you can, if you cover your phone's camera, the phone stops working until you uncover it and it can see your face.
Okay.
It doesn't say please remove it, but it just stops working until you remove it and it can see your face. Like, how dodgy is that?
That is dodgy.
That is so dodgy. Like, but I really grinds my gears when people say like, oh, like with TikTok, they're like, oh, but it's fun and it doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me. I'm like, these are matters of principle and like, just like have your privacy respected. Like, look, but these are ultimately like,
it's
you might not think it's a problem, but like that's what people want you to think.
It's really. It's not a problem until it becomes a problem.
Oh, 100%, exactly.
Until it's like a data breach and
it's too late then.
It's too late then, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't they say like the cloud will burst one day? Do you know what that term is?
No, I don't
know. I think maybe like biology, like Srivanasan, he's like this like tech wizard dude, was saying it. Like basically, everything's stored in cloud.
Yeah.
Eventually somebody's gonna hack into it, and all of your shit on cloud will basically be released and available. What do you think?
I feel like I feel like there's much bigger companies we should be worried about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, considering like Amazon has like something called AWS.
What's that? Amazon Web Services?
Yes.
Oh, what is
precisely. Basically, AWS is like tons and tons of companies use it. Typically, if there is an AWS fault, a lot of other things is gonna break.
Yeah.
From like Twitter to maybe Facebook.
See, so say if that got hacked, for example.
I mean, yeah, security has to be like on like top notch on there.
Yeah.
Because basically that's why like a lot of like applications are like deployed at AWS and they use a lot of the services there.
Yeah. Isn't that? Do they say like do they often hire hackers? Is that what they say? Or is it like let's say like
I don't mean they probably have like
because then instead of finding someone having someone who's found a vulnerability not on your side, you can be like, okay, we'll pay you, like, join us, please.
I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure there is like an active thing where it's like, I'm pretty sure companies pay you to like to hack them to like they reward you with like money.
Yeah.
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 Some ethical hacking.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
What else? What do you, web services? I've always talking about TikTok. Data privacy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. It's all just whack. Like, I mean, I use a web browser called Brave.
Oh yeah,
do you use Brave?
Yeah. I was gonna start using Brave. It's pretty good.
I like it because like it's founded by the same guy who created like Mozilla Firefox, I think. And it's basically it doesn't track you, like at all, like ever. Like Google does. I mean, Google tracks you.
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo is good. I like DuckDuckGo.
Yeah, I'm using DuckDuckGo.
That's my search engine here. Brave does have its own search engine. DuckDuckGo relies on Google, I think, to an extent. But Brave is making their own web search index. I don't know. Which, like, I guess is getting better and better. But basically, the main selling points is they don't track you. It's actually good because, it's made by the same guy who made Firefox. And it's also integrated with, like, Web3 stuff. So, basically, you can ask it to not show you any ads. But if you do have it show you ads, which will just come as a little pop-up thing, it will basically pay you a little bit in like this like Ethereum-based token, which is only worth a couple pence, but it all stacks up, right? But it pays you for your attention if you have it show you ads, which is really nice. And you could go on a exchange if you stacked it up and turned that into ETH or whatever, but I think it's just nice they actually pay you for your time. As well, but it's all very privacy focused. And if you have like an incognito-esque tab, but if you have a super duper incognito tab, they have that version as well where it integrates with Tor browser.
Oh.
So let's say you're in North Korea or somewhere with censorship, and you want to find, let's say you want to get on Facebook or something, and you're in China, right? And you want to get past the Great Firewall. I don't know actually if it would work in China, but basically the way Tor browsers work, forgive me if I'm wrong, so instead of just, is it through IP addresses, or it's just a VPN, kind of, right? But it reroutes your search through multiple servers all across the world, so it's basically untraceable.
You're browsing anonymously.
So basically, like, if you're in somewhere with high like government censorship, for example, you can still get all the websites you need and like find the truth basically on the like. Is that what the dark web's called, or is that just no? That's but then I like no. It was different. Like with Tor browsing, like I think even like BBC News and stuff, they have Tor like versions.
Yeah.
It's like, because people who are in censored countries, like if they can get to those websites, they're built ready for them. Like there's Tor versions of a lot of sites. But the dark web's different. Do you want to touch on that? That's where you just buy human kidneys and stuff, right?
Well,
like,
okay. I mean,
I don't even know how you get there. I don't want to find out. Like,
okay, so basically, yeah, you access the you access the dark web with Tor, but basically the dark web is basically any website which you cannot access via
a search engine.
Yeah, a search engine.
Do you have to just know the hyperlink then, or like?
Yeah, and I think they'll typically end in .tor or whatever.
Okay.
Or .onion, sorry.
Yeah, because Tor stands for target onion something, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like an index of like the known like pages, somewhere. But yeah, on the dark web.
That's the criminal underworld of the internet, right?
You say that, but actually, a very large percentage of people use Tor for just browsing it anonymously. Honestly.
Oh yeah, just for privacy, right?
Yeah.
Tor's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's just the dark web.
Yeah.
Like, the crime is bad. Tor is just a way to navigate through like the internet fully anonymously.
Well, I mean, it has to be this way because Tor was originally made for the U.S. government, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it was originally made for the U.S. government, so basically they could like send stuff like anonymously, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is that in order to be anonymous, it has to be open for everyone because otherwise you'd be like, oh wow, there's that FBI agent sending some data over, you know?
Yeah, because everyone, because only FBI agents would be using Tor.
Yeah.
So you'd know it'd be FBI stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to make it public to everyone to use, and it's truly anonymous.
Yeah, that is good.
But yeah, I mean, of course, there's some dodgy stuff. You got like Silk Road, and
what's that?
It was basically a massive drug empire.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's criminal activity, and how much of it is like actually criminal, and we don't really know because I mean, there was like a whole website where it's like, oh, you can hire a hitman, but in actuality, they were taking money from people who wanted to hire a hitman, and they were calling the police on them.
Oh. See, is that illegal then or not? Because
I mean, you're just getting scammed.
Yeah. So would the people scamming still be punished?
Not really.
Because they're kind of doing a good job, obviously.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's fine.
What if you're on that website and you hired a hitman to kill Putin? Would they still take your money, or would they be like, "Oh shit, should we actually find a hitman"? I mean, I guess they wouldn't have any hitman contacts because it's a scam.
Yeah, they wouldn't
website,
have. Yeah,
right?
exactly. They wouldn't have any contacts.
Yeah.
But yeah, dark web is an interesting kind of topic.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, for most people, you use it for like, just browsing anonymously.
Yeah. Man.
It's not as bad as people think it is.
Yeah, no. Tor's a good. I think it's. I really like that it's integrated into Brave browser.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've done it for like privacy concerns and stuff, because we don't want browsers following you everywhere and companies collecting your data without your consent. And, so it's putting your data back in your hands to that extent. Mm-hmm. Or you just don't have any data because it's all anonymous. So, yeah, I think it's good.
I agree.
Yeah. No. On the subject of Putin, obviously, Poland's right next to Russia. You got Belarus. Belarus is Russia, man. It's a puppet state. How do you feel about? Obviously, I mean, everyone was mortified when I heard about the war, kicking off in Ukraine, that he'd actually invaded. I was mortified, man. I mean, everyone was shit scared. Obviously, we kind of get used to it now, but it's just horrific.
Yeah, don't you think it's a bit weird how it's kind of been desensitized?
Yeah, I mean, the media is always the
next new thing.
The next scandal, people are outraged about one thing, they post a square on their Instagram, the next week they've forgotten about it, right? But I just hope people don't. This stays on the forefront.
Well, I can't really comment because I haven't really been following it like at all recently.
But like, how do you feel about it being right next to Poland?
Well, it's fucking spooky, isn't it?
Because all your family's in Poland. Obviously, you've lived here since you were like in primary school.
Exactly.
The UK,
but yeah, it is a bit spooky because especially like my family is like mostly in the south.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's like all the Ukrainians are fleeing and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Poland's been doing a very good job.
They've been very admirable.
Yeah.
I really rate it.
They've been very praised internationally. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll have to like wait and see what happens, right? Still, I think Ukraine has done an amazing job of holding out, right?
Oh mate, it's really impressive. Yeah. I thought they'd be flattened within a week. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Russia is absolutely ruined economically wise.
Yeah. Oh man, it's terrible.
The only worry I have, is backing Putin in a corner. We don't know what he's gonna do.
I mean, like, you see videos I've heard rumors he has like Parkinson's. Like,
I've heard about he's got cancer
or something. Because if you see videos, like, he's shaking, like, his arm will involuntarily shake, or his leg will, he's getting old, man. He has nothing to lose.
He's very puffy.
Yeah, he is. So yeah, like, if you back him into a corner, apparently even when he I haven't seen the videos, but apparently like the video where he announced, he was like, we're putting nukes on standby. Even his general across the room was like, what the fuck, like, looks shocked. But
we'll see. It depends on in the circle. If they want him out, I think that he'll just get thrown out.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, it's just pretty scary.
It is pretty scary.
This is why I don't like checking the news.
Yeah.
Because you just open it up and it'd be like Putin ready to launch nukes, and I'm like, I do not need this to add to my day. It doesn't add to my day. It subtracts from it massively. Or a couple years ago, I remember opening the news, and it's like Russia's developed these like orbital drop strike weapons, which is like these big tungsten rods that hang in space that are basically as strong as a nuke, if not more, right? But it's just the impact of this giant tungsten rod hitting Earth, and I'm like, I don't need to know that's hanging above me. Like, I can't change anything about it. There's no reason for me to know it. It's just going to stress me out. I mean, there is a reason for me to know it because it's a problem, but I can't do anything to change it as of now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it is, right? The media wants to always grab your attention with them.
They want to scare you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, fear and anger is like much bigger emotions, right?
Yeah.
You're more likely to remember that than like some like positive, article of like, oh, Betty rescued her dog from the fire or something.
Yeah. I mean, I think evolutionary, we're hardwired to notice and care about negative things more. Let's say, in evolutionary times, you're in the Ice Age, right? If something good happens to you, it's nice,
Yeah.
I find some more berries, like, yay, I have another kid, like, yay, big win. But like, let's say something nice happens, like, I don't know, somebody gives me an extra club to use in my mammoth hunt.
Yeah.
Like, cool. But if I'm about to be eaten by a tiger, or like I'm about to be ostracized from my tribe, or get in a fight that could kill me, or get a pinprick that will get tetanus or something, those are all much worse.
Yeah.
Okay, because one is just helping your survival, which is already happening, but the negative things could literally kill you and then draw the genetic line. So,
well, it's like when we're receiving compliments, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say you receive 9 nice compliments and 1 bad compliment. Your
day will be ruined.
One
it'll stay
compliment
with you,
will
right?
stick with you. Yeah.
Or the one insult. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't know. Someone comments on like your nose being too big, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Is my nose actually like too big?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just how it is. It is just absolutely just like human psychology of like focusing on a negative.
Yeah. So, because I think evolutionary is more relevant. So, yeah, it's just very interesting.
We need a psychologist here to maybe analyze.
Yeah,
more.
I think evolutionary psychology is very interesting.
It is very interesting.
Have you heard any of Chris Williamson's episodes on? He's got like evolutionary psychologists in.
I haven't recently been listening to it.
I think it's very good because like basically the premise of evolutionary psychology is like we've evolved. The world we live in now is not the world we've evolved to live in. We've evolved to live in a world where we're hungry a lot of the time. We're physically exerting ourselves. We're in small tribes. The maximum amount of people we'd have in a tribe would be like 150 people, which is Dunbar's number, right? All this stuff like you go to sleep when it's dark, right? You'd have fires around. You'd be you'd only have a few women in the tribe to choose from. Like,
yeah.
You wouldn't have phones. Like, it would take you ages to reach anywhere. Now I can call someone in Japan. I can call my mates in Japan in like 5 seconds if I wanted to. Whereas like to get to Japan in the Stone Age would have taken you like literal years.
Yeah, we've simply just haven't evolved to live in this current world.
Exactly. So like you need to understand your biology and your evolutionary biases, because we've got the body we've got. Okay, like our technology might have improved and we might have adapted somewhat, but we've still got the same body that our ancestors did. So, and the same mind and the same genes. So you just gotta you gotta appreciate that and use that to your best advantage, so that you be a happy and healthy person.
Yeah, as you mentioned, like back then, like you're in a tribe, you got only a limited selection of women to choose from. Now it's like you go on like any dating app and it's like it's just mindless, right? You're just scrolling, or you swiping, right? But back then it was completely different.
Exactly.
It's like you gotta choose between 4 or 5 people.
Yeah, exactly. But then also like then you have like the Disneyfication of relationships, where you have the Prince Charming and the princess, and they never fight, and everything's magical. And then like say you're in a relationship and you have one like argument or something, and like, oh, we should break up. Maybe you should break up. Maybe it is a big thing, but people don't like any hardship in relationships at all now, right?
I feel like media,
and they're like, oh, get over your previous girlfriend by getting onto the next one, or like just download Tinder, mate. I'm like, it's all like, yeah, it's just sad. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like in media we get portrayal of like people getting together, but not enough people actually being in a relationship.
Oh, exactly. People just want the sex for intimacy, and I mean, I guess some people want sex for sex. I wouldn't know, but
yeah.
You're speaking to 2 people that watch anime, like.
I mean, it's really odd, right? Especially with love these days, how in the way that I feel like people put value on just kind of themselves these days, right? And it's all about me. And a lot less people think about kind of like the whole like bringing something to a community.
Yeah.
Which is a bit sad,
Yeah.
Whereas now it's all about likes and it's about fame, and it's kind of like about the short term kind of gratification, and it's weird how quite a few women are like kind of like ostracized for thinking more of like a motherly role, right? I thinking of the long term where it's like, oh girl, you gotta be more like feminist, like stand up for yourself and stuff like that. Whereas
in what way?
Where it's like, how should I put it? Whereas like there are girls, I'm pretty sure, which don't mind taking on like the mother role, staying at home or whatever.
Yeah.
But like
people are like actively discouraged from that.
Well, yeah, but they're actively discouraged these days.
You should be able to do whatever you want, right?
Which
if you've got someone who wants to support you and you want to be a kick-ass like housewife, like go for it, in my opinion.
One thing Jordan Peterson said about like because right now we want equality in everything, right? Equality in absolutely everything, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is like, what we don't mention is like, well, okay, so we're gonna have like all equal like men and women like working in the mines and like working in like
in the wars, in the trenches.
Yeah, like engineering and scaffolding.
See, you even saw all the memes of that when Ukraine kicked off. It's like you'd have memes from men and women be like, women like, yeah, women empowerment, and then the war kicks off and they're like, oh, send me back to the kitchen, I'm ready to go. Like,
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, actually,
like,
in Scandinavian countries,
Yeah. Oh, what they're the most,
the most kind
equal,
of like liberal, right?
Focused. Yeah, focused on their gender equality and stuff.
Yeah, but like
yeah,
it seems that like in those countries, you still have women tend to go more towards more like womanly roles,
like the caring,
kind of. Yeah.
The thing, people roast this argument, just this statement on the choice of words, right? Which is like, it was like, I think Jordan Peterson said like, woman like people thing, women like people and like jobs with people, and men like things, and things is such a dumb word. What else do you use it like women,
it is
they go more into nursing, childcare, like, how many male teachers did you have in your school?
Not many.
Not many. There are a few, but it's mostly women. Like at least there's more in secondary school men teachers, and obviously more in university as well. But things like that. Whereas men, you're more likely to be a soldier or a mechanic or something.
Exactly, because it's about the things.
Yeah, and then some people might argue, that's more, maybe in some societies it is more just like social pressure and whatnot. But then you look at, say, Scandinavia, which is the most, focus on gender equality, and you have very big differences in what men and women choose. And I think people shouldn't be trying to focus on getting a 50-50 ratio in every single industry, because ultimately when a woman, we're biologically evolved to be different, we have different roles. And I'll come back to this as well. But, so if you, obviously there's individual variants. So if you're a woman and you want to be a bricklayer or a soldier, like, go for it. If my daughter wanted to be a bricklayer, if that was what she really wanted to do, like, go for it, If my son wanted to be a nurse, like, go for it, They can do whatever they want, But
trying to force that split, I feel like...
Trying to force it for the sake of quotas and equality, I think is just really dumb. Ultimately, in a free society, people should be fully able to choose the career they want. And if that means that overall in society there's an unequal balance in certain areas, but everyone's happy doing what they want to do, that's, like, perfectly fine with me. Because ultimately then, if you're trying to get ultimate equality, 50-50 ratios and everything, but some people just aren't in the jobs they're meant to be doing, what have you achieved? Like, our ultimate goal should be in service of the happiness and, success of humanity.
I mean, how much are you going to keep splitting? Are you going to first male to female, then every single race, and then every single age? Like,
yep.
How I...
Man, I need a 1-year-old kid on the board of my on my CEO panel.
Like, I feel like but that's the thing. Like, I feel like there's a limit to how much we can split, I mean, ultimately, I would feel bad if I was just just a check mark, for like...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I find it so demeaning, It's like, oh yes, we have our Polish man.
Yeah.
We have our immigrant.
Like
it's so demeaning. Like, I want people to appreciate you for you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Not for your arbitrary characteristics.
Like, another thing related to that is, for example, with maths, right?
Yeah.
Like, girls tend to perform better in maths than boys, but it's just that, as you mentioned, boys tend to like things.
Yeah.
So in these Scandinavian
more guys will choose to study maths, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So with STEM fields pushing like, oh yeah, we want more women to obviously go into the field and stuff. But in the Scandinavian countries, women just go on.
They choose not to.
Yeah. But they can.
They can. I'd fully encourage them to.
Yeah.
I'd fully encourage them to do whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, you see that way, like, you'll have big gender differences based on different academic subjects, right? My mates do psychology. You never hear about this the other way around. Okay, in a cohort of like 300 people, there were like 4 dudes, right? Freddie, like, he says he's doing English, right? English lit, I think. If he sees another guy in his seminar, he's surprised. And like, that's not discussed as being a problem, and to an extent, like, it's not. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because I don't care about it being, 50-50 ratios. Like, if more girls want to do English than guys, like, if that's what they really want to do, like, fine,
Where's the push on that?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But anyways, coming back to, like, evolutionary differences, I can't remember the name of the woman who gave the speech, but I went to New Scientist Live Expo a couple years ago with my cousin. And there was a whole bunch of different talks. Like, there was one on dinosaurs we listened to, right, and like some other ones. But one I went to that was really cool. It was basically about how this woman was giving a speech on how men have evolved to be dads, and it's all the psychological research. And I can't remember like, much of like the specific facts, but it was basically saying how like, human males have evolved to be good dads, and how in most other mammals, like, you have like 0 like fatherly input or very little. Whereas with men, obviously men and women, like, we have monogamous relationships. Like, you're supposed to raise your kids, as a team, 2 parents, not one. And, that's the most ideal. Like, you get the best life, outcomes for the child. But it's saying how men have evolved to be dads. Because often, like, you have the stereotype of the lazy dad or the deadbeat dad or dad doesn't do much. You know? And in some cases, obviously, some people have had that experience and, that's to their detriment. But it was just... I don't know, I used the word empowering before, but I felt empowered. I was like, you know what? Yeah, like, we can do it. Like, we can be good parents, But it was like saying like the importance of like rough and tumble play and like properly socializing kids, and, teaching them like manners and restraint and like just being like pro-social and like, but like if you look at the data on it, like it's so amazing. Like, like both men and women have their their vital roles to play. If you take one out of the equation, like, it's just to everyone's detriment, like, we should be celebrating both, whereas...
But a lot of feminists believe that,
men are trash.
Men are there only just to provide the kid, and that's it. You know.
And then and then you'll have some people in like, I don't know, it's like the manosphere who are like, all women are trash as well. Yeah. And I'm like, you're both dumb.
Ridiculous.
Like, appreciate each other, you know?
Yeah.
I saw some like meme. It's like, yo, if all men are trash, why don't you take me out? Like some crap pickup. If everyone uses that, like, please don't. But yeah. Anyways, I think it's all very interesting. But I think we should just appreciate everyone. You know, let them do what they want to do. Like, you know, that's my take.
That's
I don't think it's particularly controversial.
Yeah, no.
At least it shouldn't be. If it is, then I think it's quite sad.
Yeah.
But I think we put our case properly. We just want everyone to be
happy.
able to do what they want. We want them to be happy, you know.
Yeah.
We want everyone to be appreciated.
Wholesome.
Yeah, wholesome stuff. Yeah. Sweet.
Just try out different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Different societies. I think that would have been fine because I mean.
You just work too hard.
Yeah. I feel like I worked too hard in the first year. Second year, actually, with the COVID stuff, I actually think I did pretty well considering the situation, honestly. Mm-hmm. It was more about kind of like trying to, how should I put it, make sure I'm like mentally sane, being isolated.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing with mental health, like in the lockdown time.
But I was fine. I worked out pretty much like I used to. I had a part-time job which kept me busy, and then I had lectures which kept me busy too. So I feel like that was not a bad year, honestly. I mean, the only bad thing was like something out of my control, to be fair.
Yeah, that's very true. So you made the most of your bad situation.
Yeah. I mean, the placement. I mean, it has definitely gave me a good view into how the work-life balance is now these days.
How would you say? What's it like? And compared to uni, what's it like?
Well, it's the hours. Well, it's like an 8-hour stretch, right?
Yeah.
Where you have to just kind of be on the job. Of course, you have like down periods, of course, but the expectation is that, you know, that you kind of like focus all the time and stuff, which has been a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier when we were walking around town, like that's just bullshit. Like, you have like, you know, I'll do maximum like 4 hours of work a day, and that's like, if I have 4 focused hours, like they don't have to be all in the same chunk. It could be 2 hours and 2 hours or whatever. That is enough. Like, you know, and I've been getting firsts. Like, I'll get a first for my degree unless I've suddenly bombed something, but I will get a first. Like, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, an 8-hour chunk is just unfeasible. You're not going to be working at your peak for that long. Like, no way.
Commute time has never been another big thing for me. I've discovered that remote work is 100% the way I want to like continue living.
Yeah, 100%.
Remote work has just enabled me to just do everything I wanted to.
Yeah? And what do you mean, do everything you wanted to?
Well, first of all, the way ideally I would want to work is like either between 7 to 3 or like 8 to 4.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of shift it because I'd rather do work earlier in the day, just to get out of the way.
Yeah.
But also that way I have these bursts of like, okay, let's just get some work done. I'm able to just do like tons of work. And then I'll get a down period for a while where I'm just like, okay, I guess, you know, just, you know, go to the kitchen, make something to eat, right?
Yeah. And that way you don't have your boss breathing down your throat.
Yeah, I don't have distractions. And like, I can just, if I need help, or, you know, if someone else needs help, they can just message me.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like that's ideal for me, because I feel like some people struggle at this, like from my work, honestly.
Oh yeah.
With just like responding to messages, but honestly, like, I don't think I've ever like left someone on read for like more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Like,
oh nice.
Like, I'm always aware of if like something is going on.
Yeah.
Even if it's like unrelated to me.
Okay. Good.
But I don't know. Maybe that's just my my gamer intuition. Just
that's what happens when you play League of Legends.
Yeah, being super aware of everything going around you.
Yeah.
But yeah, remote work is 100% the way to go, because having to commute 1 hour to and from work is like training.
Oh, dude, it would suck. I think if I ever had a desk job, I would want it to be fully remote as well, because if it's remote, you can have time of place as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, not time of place, freedom of place. So you don't have to work like in, you know, the office if it's remote work. You didn't even have to work in your bedroom. Like, if you wanted to like do some slow travel, if you wanted to just move to Thailand for like a year and do your remote work there, get paid your UK wage, you know, which you're working for a UK company, like you're doing the same job, you should be paid, you know, accordingly. And then your cost of living is way lower, so you can save loads of money, have a way better quality of life as well, you know, and just have a sick time.
Yep.
Like, you do that for a couple of years, you could save up a nice little war chest for yourself, you know, for times of trouble.
It's so weird for companies making their employees go back.
Yeah.
When, like, also it's up to their benefit, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like, you can save on office space, on the
exactly.
electricity bills, and,
literally.
like, the employees' mental health, you know? Like,
yeah, no, exactly.
I feel like overall it's, like, the downside, there's so much upside, sorry.
Yeah, I find like that maybe the only downside is, like, some people, their social life is their work life, right? So,
yeah.
But then just, I don't know, join a social club, you know?
I hate these perks which companies are like, oh yeah, we got a fruit bowl. It's like on like ping pong table which never gets used.
Yeah, because you're always working,
these are not perks. Like, nah, a good work-life balance is a perk.
100%. And like,
having more holidays is a perk.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But studies show, like, I think if it's over half an hour of a commute time, your happiness just tanks.
Yeah.
People's reported happiness tanks.
Yeah.
After if it's more than half an hour. So
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, like, you'd be like, oh, but I can listen to a podcast. Like,
Fuck
maybe
off.
you're listening to this when you're commuting, but, you know, try not to commute. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if it's going to make you miserable, like, nobody wants to be stuck in traffic. That's wasting 2 whole hours of your day.
Yeah.
Every day, right? Let's say that's 10 hours a week, okay?
Yeah.
There's 52 weeks in the year. Let's say you're working for 40 of those. Well, it's like 10 times 40. 400? That's 400 hours, you know, over how many days is that? Like, multiple?
Just, you can divide by 24, what you say. So
that's like 15 days or something, roughly, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's over 2 whole weeks. Just if you sat commuting, like, what could you do in 2 whole weeks? That's of being awake time. That's not including your sleeping time.
Yeah.
So that's like a month worth of, like, awake time, right?
Yeah.
So what could you do in that time? Like, so much more than just sitting on your ass, like, commuting, like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, exactly. That kind of puts it into perspective, right?
Yeah. So
that could be used as like your holiday.
Exactly. That is your holiday. Exactly. So yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, 100%. Like, remote work is the way to go. And I'm so happy that I would be coming back to uni with, like, remote work again, like fully remote.
Yeah. Oh, what of your job at Atlas?
Yeah.
Is that Atlas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
So that's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I'd say for me, like, what have I done? Because I've had 4 years at uni now. 4 in Exeter when I should have been 3, because I was supposed to go on my year abroad last year, but because COVID kind of cancelled it. So first they were like, you might be able to go to America after Christmas, but we don't know. So just do an extra term here and hopefully go abroad. And if you can't, just do a whole extra year at Exeter. So I did that. But I think in first year was good. I do think my work routine wasn't quite there. Like, I worked a lot. I think I worked too much in the sense of my lecture notes. Because all the lecturers are in person, I'd make my notes and then I'd go back home and I would write them all out, but I'd condense it all into like an A4 side. No, like one sheet of A4, so both sides. I think it's very good, and I did that in second year as well, but it just took ages out of my day, you know?
Yeah.
I think in those aspects it worked. If you have in-person exams, then I think that's a good way to go about it, because all of your, you know, your revision information is then there in like an A4 sheet.
Yeah.
Now that we've got online exams, it's just a waste of time, because you can just go through the material. You know, if it's an hour-long exam, you still don't have time. But I'd say just, you know, make your revision notes later on. But in terms of, like, if it's a 24-hour exam like we've had, you can do a lot of your research. Like, you can compile it all there. Like, you will be spending like 10 hours in your exam. You know, if you're spending an hour on it, then at least for my experience, like, you'd be doing shit, you know. But yeah, I think I've done very well in all the different clubs and societies I've joined. I've really tried to have a big variety. So I really enjoyed that. And then you can sift out what you like and what you don't. There's some I've stuck with, you know, my whole experience of uni, like, you know, like Calisthenics Society, like Freedom Society. I think those are the 2 I've stuck with the entire time, actually. Those are the 2. What else? Yeah, I just tried a bunch of different sports, like them all, you know. This year, yeah, I'd just say I've prioritised very well. But it's all just been really good. I've definitely worked hard, play hard. Like, you don't need to be working, like, 9 hours a day or 8 hours a day. Like, you do 4 hours of solid work, like,
Yeah.
it's good. And because the one advice I give for any incoming uni students, prioritize your outside life outside of university and all your clubs and societies, in the sense of, if you don't have like that booked in your calendar and those times, your work will expand to consume your whole life if you don't set those boundaries. So set your boundaries of what's your break time, when are you going to do your exercise or go do your sports, or to your societies, like, because if you don't set time for your hobbies, like, you will just spend your entire day working, like, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And it's not like you'll be doing anything more productive. You'll just be wasting time. So that would be my top advice, really. Yeah.
That's very solid advice.
Yeah. Any other uni tips?
Uni tips.
I'd say work hard, play hard. Like,
Yeah.
definitely get the most out of your time. If you don't join any societies, you've made a massive mistake. Or like any extra. So if you just go back home and watch Netflix, like, I'm sorry, but you're wasting your time at university. Like,
Yeah.
this is the time when you can meet loads of like-minded people and like build, friendships for life. So make the most of it. Like, this is why I don't really play video games anymore. Like, my philosophy is like, I mean, obviously there are things you can do in video games that you can't do in real life. Like, slay a dragon in Skyrim, or, say Fufradar and actually shout someone off the top of a cliff or whatever. But, like, you want to make your own life as exciting as possible, that you don't need the video games to fill that void. You want to be like waking up like, yeah, I'm going to go hiking today, I'm going to do boxing, or like whatever, I'm going to like go to this language exchange or whatever it is. Like, you want to make your own life as cool and exciting as possible, right?
Well, another thing I would say is that try to also think about the other aspects of uni which people don't consider, which is like the career options.
Yes.
There's a lot of events at uni which people don't consider, and especially like the career advice, the career kind of like.
Please use it.
Yeah. That is like so good, because you're not gonna get this like after this, like after uni.
Yeah. Going on from that, like, say in Exeter at least, we've got like an employability award, where like you basically just do these little courses, and you'll get this employability award saying you're more employable, hooray! And there's also a leaders version. I've done the regular one.
Yeah,
I didn't get around to doing the leaders one. Hopefully I've got enough leadership experience and other things that I can still say I'm a leader and stuff. But like, that's all really good, and it's accredited by the university. And like, yeah, make the most of that. Also, obviously, like, when you come into university, what you want to do will probably change by the time you want to go out. Maybe you might be set, but whatever it is, don't wait to get work experience in your final year, because you'll have your dissertation. Okay, you're gonna have all of your modules counting the most for your grades. Like, that is not the time when you want to, get your work experience. Get your work experience in like first and second year, and in your holidays, because like then you can find out whether the ideas you have about a career are actually what it's like on the day to day. Say, because I wanted to be a zookeeper when I was younger, and in year 10 I did work experience at a farm, which, granted, it's not a zoo, right? But it's like, it's basically a zoo, but within, instead of hippos, there's pigs, instead of elephants and stuff. So the same jobs are there, you're feeding the animals, you're cleaning their shit. And I realised, like, I'm built from something much more academic. I want to be out there wrestling crocodiles as well, but I want to use my brain. So, even if you don't, like, enjoy your work experience, it's still good experience because it shows you where not to go.
Yeah.
But the biggest mistake, I've heard people, we're in third year, final year, whatever, and they're like, oh, like, maybe I should talk to this professor and I can try to get some work experience. I'm like, you should have been doing this 3 years ago, okay?
Yeah.
Like, this is not time. Build those relationships. Use your professors, okay? Like, they're literal world leaders in their field, at least at a university like ours. So, and even though they're not, they're still going to know a hell of a lot of stuff.
Work experience is
suck up to them. Not suck up to them, but like, be interested in them, and like, if you show effort, like, they'll show effort back to you, right? That's my experience. Like, just be genuinely interested in them and like actively learn from them and ask them questions, and try and get involved if you think they're cool. Like,
work experience makes like life a lot easier after graduation, because then you have specific points in your life which you can point to during interviews where it's like, oh, this is where I was a leader, this is where I was able to communicate with my teammates, it gives you such an easy way to kind of talk through an interview.
Yeah.
And it makes you a lot more confident, right?
Yeah, literally.
Because you have like things to back it up.
Yeah.
Now, for example, me, right? I've got my placement year. I've got my years of working at Hatlers. I've got but mostly those two. Actually.
Yeah, no, it's enough. It's enough.
But honestly, those two are like amazing examples, because I mean, most people will be coming out of uni with my course, and it's like, what do they have? Like
nothing.
Oh, so they've done the same thing as I did, but I've also have like both like 3-4 years of experience.
Yeah.
Like working, right?
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, yeah, no, you're exactly right. People just don't. They didn't do it. So yeah, I know people. There was a girl I did jiu-jitsu with when I was doing my first year, and she was a biologist as well. She was final year, and she said like she just couldn't get any jobs because she didn't have any work experience. She's just done a degree and nothing else.
Right.
So I think that stuck with me. I was like, okay, shit, like I need to get on the grind now. But it's not like everything needs to be work. Like, let's say you have a hobby. Like, let's say you like making little computer games or something, coding or any little just projects. Like Dom's always got some side projects going on just because you're interested. Like, like that's really good. Or like let's say as a biologist, like if I like going out and doing bird watching or like doing insect surveys or like trapping moths, which is the one I actually like doing. You put a big box out with a light, you put it on overnight, and you see what moths are there in the morning, and you count them and see what species are there. Like that is, you might think that's a weird hobby, but like as a biologist, like you're getting species identification skills, you're getting fieldwork skills, you're becoming an expert in like one of the most species rich taxons on Earth. Like it's just so like it's really good, and like all this extra experience, like it really does count. Like say in my application for Oxford for my masters, like by some nuts miracle they've given me a 20k scholarship, right? And like I looked up all the scholarship says is to financially support an academically meritorious graduate student. That's it. I didn't put any information on my CV on my application about like my sex, my gender, my race, like whatever. I put it all as not preferred not to say because it's none of their business, right? I want to just be marked on my merit, right? And like, but my CV and my personal statement were packed. Like my CV was pretty much barely any of it was the stuff I've been taught in my degree. Like it's all stuff I've done outside of my own bag, and the same for my personal statement, and I think it's all the things I've just done outside of uni. I'm not saying obviously a degree is not important. Obviously it's
but it's like the bare minimum, right?
Yeah, but it's not enough. Like like you need to be doing the things you enjoy.
So how do you stand out, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Do the things you enjoy as well. If you hate something, you're not going to be putting in your best effort, and there'll be people better than you. So within your field, like focus on the things you enjoy. Because I didn't apply to any other universities. It's not like I had a backup option. Like if people ask me, "Oh, what's your backup choice?" It's not like I'd pick another shit university. Like
there was no backup.
Like my backup plan, like would just to be if I didn't get in, would be like to do a year out, get some work experience, and apply again. And if I don't get in, I'd do the same, and I would apply again, like literally until I get in. Like that, yeah, So some like if that is a choice. Like
yeah.
But yeah, definitely get your experience. I think that's very important, and do in things you like, because ultimately you want to enjoy your job. Because money's not everything.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, sweet. I guess we've hit a nice wholesome wall.
It's a good break for
It's time to get some lunch.
Yeah, starving.
Yeah. Okay. Dom, it's been a pleasure. Hope you've enjoyed. I really enjoyed this podcast.
Yeah, it's been good.
Second recording in 2 days. Like, this is definitely much better than writing and shit. So yeah. Man, it's been fun. You'll definitely be back on at some point.
Oh yeah,
if anyone has any questions, whatever social medias I end up making, or like wherever the hell this is, just pop a comment in or contact, somehow.
Yeah. Catch me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, catch us on LinkedIn. Yeah, absolutely. Beef up your LinkedIn as well. But yeah, nice. It's been a pleasure, Dom.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Likewise.
There's episode 2 of the Jamie Bolam Show. Signing off. Thank you very much. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure to share it on your favourite social media. Subscribe to my free newsletter at jamiebolam.substack.com and follow me on Instagram at jamie.a.bolam. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.